Hello everybody, in today's video I'm gonna show you how to solve irrational equations and explain a couple of things when you do solve these equations. But before I start, I want to say that this video is dedicated to one of my students, Gabriel, who came with the question, and as I want to explain the situation for all of my students and maybe for all of my audience, I'm gonna show you how and why you should be thinking the proper way when solving this kind of equations. I'm gonna show this on this equation, and then I think there will be a lot of time, maybe not, we will see. I'm gonna show you how to solve such kind of irrational equation. But before I'll start, I want to say one important thing. Before you start solving any irrational equation, you should think about for which axis the equation is defined, and to do so, this is just a simple reminder about the irrational function, or basically in this case is just the function which is defined by the equation y equals square root of x, and we already know that the graph of this function looks like this, and it is the inverse function to the function y equals x squared. That's why this curve occurs here, because it's part of the parabola, but just with the respect with the symmetry, with the respect to the line which is given by the equation y equals x. And as you can see and read from the graph, this function, this one, or if you want to this one, is really defined for all the axes. So the domain of the function is from 0 to the infinity, which means axis must be greater or equal to 0. Okay, so this is why, this is the explanation how and why the inequality comes here. I will leave it for a while here. So you should be really like think about that x must be greater or equal to 0. This is the condition. Now let's go back to the equation. So the question and like really, let's say the big mistake, it's not a big mistake, but the students always or sometimes think that when you do the square of both sides of the equation, that then the equation will be like 36 x squared minus 169, which is 13 squared times x, plus 36 is equal to 0. But this is something which is really wrong, and you have to think about this operation, about this equivalent operation this way. This notation means that you do square both sides of the equation, so then it would mean that the equation will become something like this: squared is equal to 0. And if you now think about this expression being squared, it would basically mean that this is gonna be something like this times, and the same expression, which is something like this. And if you think about it and you really would try to do the multiplication here, it would mean that the first term of the first expression, you multiply this one by all the terms in the second expression, and you can probably now see very clearly that you will not get rid of the square root of x, because 6x times negative 13 times square root of x will remain there, though maybe you will get rid of these numbers, but you can imagine that to do so, this is really gonna be very complicated task to solve, and it doesn't make sense to calculate it this way. So instead of this, the answer for the question and how to do so is quite simple, and I have told to my students, and this is really good manner, and you will see why, that you really try to separate all the radicals on one side of the equation, and the rest will remain or should be placed on the other side of the equation. So in this case, for our equation, the equivalent operation would be to take away 6 and take away 6x, which would then lead to the equation 13 times, let me be really nice and smart professor or teacher, it would then lead to this equation. Okay, now as I really don't like to work with a lot of negative numbers, and I can see, probably you can also see, and this would be a clever idea to multiply both sides by -1, which is okay. Then it would be 13 times square root of x is equal to 6 plus 6x. Now you can simply do multiply both sides by 1 over 13, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. You can try. Instead of this, I prefer now to do the square of both sides, okay? Which would then mean that this is gonna be 169 times x, because 13 squared times x squared, 13 times square root of x squared, or if you want to, it's square root of x times square root of x, which is of course equal to x. So this is our left side, and as you can see, we really have no radical on the right side, on the left side of the equation. Now you really have to be beware again of this situation, that when you square the right side of this equation, it's gonna be this kind of expression, okay? And now by using very well known formula, a plus b squared is equal a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, you simply simplify the expression on the right side of the equation. So it's gonna be 169x is equal to 36 plus 2 times, okay, 2 times a, in this case 6, times b, in this case 6x. So it means it's 2 times 6 is 12, times 6 is 72x plus 36x squared. Now you can see that we really came to the equation which is quite easy to solve, and this is quadratic equation. We just simply now rearrange this equation like this. It's gonna be 36x squared minus 169 minus 72 is equal to, and it's gonna be really negative number, negative 97x plus 36 is equal to 0. So this is really like standard quadratic equation, and I'm gonna solve this equation for you, because I see there is really like big numbers there. So the first thing you think about this is if you can simplify this and find, let's say, easier numbers to work with, because now you have three possibilities to solve this by completing the square by factorization or by the quadratic formula. But yeah, these three numbers like 36 or two numbers and 97, is there any common divisor? But I don't think so, because 2 is not, 3 is not, 4 definitely not, and 9 definitely not. So we cannot simplify this equation. There is nothing else we can do here, just use the quadratic formula. So to calculate the discriminant, it means b squared, take away for a c, which in this case is equal to negative 97 squared minus 4 times 36 times 36. But I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be a nice number. So let's see. I'm gonna use the calculator now because of time. So 97 squared is equal to 9,409 minus, and 4 times 36 times 36 is 5,184, which is equal to 4,225. So now our roots are x1, x2 is equal to negative b plus minus square root of discriminant over 2a, and this is equal to 97 plus minus square root of 4,225 over 2a, so 2 times 36, which is equal to 97 plus minus, and now comes the surprise. Square root of 4,225 is equal to 65, very nice number, divided by 72, which is equal to 97 plus 65 is okay. So sorry, now you just calculate x1 as 97 plus 65 is equal to 162 over 72, which is, and now I'm gonna be really clever, we simplify this fraction somehow, and the second root is equal to 97 minus 65 is 32 over 72. Let me simplify this one first. It looks a little bit easier to do. What is the common divisor? Okay, I hope you can see that it is number 8. So this is, if you divide 32 by 8, you will get 4, and 72 you will get 9. So okay, the first root is 4 over 9, and the second root is 162 and 72. The first thing I would try is to divide it by number 8. So 162 divided by 8, this is impossible. Then I would try to divide it by 4. 72 divided by 4 is 18, okay, and 162 divided by 4 is nice number. What is the common divisor? The greatest common divisor of these two numbers. You can simply start with the number 2. Okay, so let's do it. 162 divided by 2 is 81, and 72 divided by 2 is equal to 36. Okay, very nice. Now you can see that it's number 9, so it's gonna be 9 over 4. So this is our second root. Now, what we can say based on the domain or this condition, x must be greater or equal to 0, so it looks both numbers should be the solution of our equation. But as we used here non-equivalent operation, So the set of the roots could be changed here. We have to do the check of this solution for both roots for this equation. So let me just take this equation, let me put it here so that I can see it, and now let's do the check. Please don't be scared with these numbers. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something easy to calculate. So we need to calculate the left side of this equation for 9 over 4, and it is equal to 6 times 9 over 4 minus 13 times square root of 9 over 4 plus 6. Good news, first good news is that this square root can be calculated very easily. So let's see what is gonna happen. You can simplify this fraction by dividing 6 and 4 with number 2, so it's gonna be 3 and 2. So the first term is 27 over 2, take away 13 times 3 over 2, because square root of 9 is 3 and square root of 4 is 2, plus 6. This is equal to 27 over 2 minus 13 times 3 is 39. Sorry, 39 over 2 plus 6, and as you can see, 27 minus 39 is negative 12 over 2 plus 6, which is equal to 0. Very nice, the right side of the equation is 9 over 5, which is equal to 0, so left side is equal to the right side. So the first root is correct. Now let's calculate the left side of 4 over 9, which is equal to 6 times 4 over 9 minus 13 times square root of 4 over 9 plus 6. This is equal to 6 and 9 can be simplified. The common divisor is number 3, so this is gonna be 2, this is gonna be 3, so it's gonna be 8 over 3 minus 13 times 2 over 3 plus 6, which is equal to 8 over 3 minus 26 over 3 plus 6, which is equal to 8 minus 26 is, I'm sorry, negative 18 over 3 plus 6, which is equal to 0. Great. And the right side for 9 over 4 is really equal to 0 also, so left side is equal to the right side. So it means the conclusion is that the set of the roots is 2 elements set, and it consists of numbers 4 over 9 and 9 over 4. Okay, so this was the first equation. Now let's have a look on the second one. Okay, so let me just make a lot of space here. A lot of space here. Let me take this equation and let's have a look on this one. This equation is like also not something complicated. To look for the x's for which this equation is defined means that x negative 3 must be greater or equal to 0, so it means x must be greater or equal to 3. And as this is composite function here on the left side of this equation, we have to look for the second condition, and the second condition says that 7 minus square root of x minus 3 must be greater or equal to 0. To solve this inequality means the same procedure as we did before, so negative square root of x minus 3 must be greater or equal to negative 7. Now this is something which is really tricky, and I'm sorry, I need more space here. So let me just make this window a little bit bigger. So it means we have to multiply the inequality by negative 1, by negative 1, which means it's gonna be square root of x minus 3 is less or equal to 7. As we did multiply by a negative number to both sides of the equation, then the inequality sign is changed like this to the opposite one. Now we can do square of both sides, so x minus 3 must be less or equal to 49, so x must be less or equal to 52. So by doing the union or finding the intercept of these two conditions, you can simply say that this equation is defined for x being from the interval 3 to the 52. So this is really something important before you start to solve any irrational equation. Now let's go finally to solve this equation. As we want to get rid of the radical here on the left side, we do square both sides, so then we have 7 take away square root of x minus 3 is equal to 4. Now again we have to have the radical on one side of the equation, so we take away number 7. Negative square root of x minus 3 is equal to negative 3. We do multiply both sides by number 1, though this one is probably not needed, but I prefer to have it this way, so this is equal to 3. Now we do again square both sides of the equation, so it's gonna be x minus 3 is equal to 9, because, and please don't remember, sometimes it happens, students forget to square the right side of the equation, okay? The same here. So this basically means you have to square both sides of the equation. And now, as you can see, we just add up 3 to both sides of the equation, so x is equal to 12. Now, quick check, 12 is from the interval from 3 to the 55, so this condition is fine and nice. But as we did not equivalent operation here and also up there, we really have to do the check of this equation and of our result. So let's do it like very quickly. Left side for x being 12 is equal to square root of 7 minus square root of 12 minus 3, which is square root of 7 minus square root of 9, which is square root of 7 minus 3, which is square root of 4, and this is equal to 2. Yuppie, good news, right side for 12, as this is constant function here, it means it's equal to 2, so left side is equal to the right side. So based on all of the information during the solution, we know that the set of the roots is just one element set, and it is number 12. We are done here. Okay, so basically this is it, and you probably watch this video more than one time, and please come familiar with a couple of tricks or let's say mistakes or misunderstanding of the whole concept to find out why and how the things work. So thank you for watching the video. And there is one more thing I want to say. As you can see, a couple of my videos were dedicated to my students, which is okay, and I really thank to my students for giving me some kind of challenges with their questions. So if you probably have any question about any task or any concept you don't understand, just leave me a comment under any video you are watching, and if it makes sense and I would have time, I would be happy to prepare video about any topic you are interested in. So thanks for watching, and see you during our next video. Bye bye.